You know, every once in a while we have people boycotting or unfollowing other people. And sometimes it's valid and sometimes it's not. Like that one time when people started mass unfollowing Hollywood superstars for being unauthentic. Or now when people just don't want to buy Tesla cars anymore because of political reasons, to the point that Donald Trump himself literally advertises the car.
Whoa! Should I get in?
Get in!
Okay. I'm not biting, I don't need no.
I'll take one.
That's beautiful.
But sometimes you have situations where people don't really know if boycotting someone or something is actually the right thing to do. Reason for that being the fact that there is no 100% proof that a certain person actually did make a mistake. And since we're a chess channel, obviously our today's topic is Hans Niemann, who is not being boycotted by fans and viewers, but by the chess organizations and players directly.
It shows that people don't want to give me the chance to actually play, and they just want me to sort of my career to be ruined, right? And such malicious intent and such malicious actions.
Now we will show you exactly what's happening in Hans Niemann's life and also talk about if his treatment is actually fair or not. So with that, enjoy the video and sub the channel for more awesome chess content. Now let's look at Hans Niemann. Every person that somehow has contact with chess surely knows he was in a $100 million lawsuit against the GOAT Magnus Carlsen because apparently he cheated in a classical tournament in St. Louis. If you want to know more about that, check out this video on our channel. It explains the whole situation about the cheating scandal in detail. Now the funny thing is, this scandal was more than 2 years ago and we still don't really know if he actually cheated or not. All we have is Magnus Carlsen on one side saying that Hans cheated.
What made you convinced that he was cheating in that particular game?
There was a combination of things, though, based on the chess level that I thought that he had and that I'd seen from his game, both playing against him, analyzing a little with him, and looking at his other games. There were a lot of stories back then.
But then again, we have Hans Niemann on the other side saying that he didn't cheat against Magnus Carlsen.
But just to be clear, you didn't cheat?
Of course not.
On the specific allegation, have you ever used anal beads while playing chess?
Well, your curiosity is a bit concerning, Maybe you're personally interested, but I can tell you no.
Okay, categoric no.
Of course, yes. Categorically no.
Hey, look,
Now who do we trust though? Isn't this generally just a very tricky situation? We have two really good chess players saying two different things and somehow the other chess players are forced to pick a side. And somehow that's exactly what happened, because as you know, a chess player normally makes a living from playing chess unless your name is Levi Rosman or Hikaru Nakamura, who by the way also make a living by playing chess, but they're content creators at this point.
If takes, queen e2, queen h4, g3, knight g3, check, c6, queen b7, knight h1.
And if you don't play chess, there is no way you could possibly make money. So long story short, a chess player is kinda dependent on the tournaments he is invited to and the games he plays. Like Vincent Keimer, who just won $200,000 for winning the freestyle chess tournament in Germany. Now Hans Niemann though on the other side doesn't even make it to some of those tournaments, even though he is one of the best players when it comes to his rating. You would think a top 25 world chess player is happily invited to all the big tournaments, but that's not how it works for Hans Niemann. He clearly is somehow cancelled from the chess world. I mean, look at his tweets. First he says this on March 11th. The St. Louis Chess Club organizes 100% of top-level tournaments in America. 3 years of no invitations has done damage to my chess career. I have requested to participate in the American Cup Blitz, which is open to 100 players. If they won't let me compete there, what am I supposed to do? Is this how America's premier chess organizations treats their players? Then he waits for an answer. I've emailed St. Louis Chess Club about the upcoming American Cup Blitz. If I can't participate in a 100-person Blitz tournament, does that mean I'm banned for 3 years in a row? Patiently waiting their reply. Is asking for a response to my emails too much to ask from America's premier chess club? They've ignored me for months at a time. I would love to let the chess speak for itself, but I want a humble chance to play. But generally, he's being ignored. St. Louis Chess Club invited me to the Spring Chess Classic and proceeded to ignore several emails. Was the invitation revoked without a cause? Happy to file a FIDE ethics complaint to clear everything up. And Instead of receiving an answer, he now thinks his invitation got revoked. Now we don't know if that's actually true or not, or if Hans is just a little worked up on Twitter. At the end of the day, it just comes down to if he cheated or not. Clearly he shouldn't be playing chess if he cheated in 2022 in St. Louis. But let's just assume he actually did not cheat and Magnus Carlsen's spidey senses were just a little off on that day. That would mean that Hans Niemann is actually being treated super unfair by the chess players and organizations. Like this, for example. I offered Anish a rematch and he refused. That would be unfair to Hans Niemann if the reason for Anish would be that he cheated but actually he didn't cheat.
That the chess world is a little island. And on this island you have chess.com, which is not the government, FIDE you could say is, and in this island, chess.com is all this money. And in reality, you are one of these media puppeteers in this island who was created and made by this company and is paid by this company. The career was created by the company.
Now a young guy like Hans Niemann clearly wants to play chess and is clearly looking for his matches. But since he's getting blacklisted, he starts offering big money to chess players just to play against him. This is what he wrote on Twitter. It's time to expand the Hans Niemann Against the World Tour. Considering the blatant blacklisting, I see only one solution. I'd like to offer bounties to any 2700 plus player who would like to play. 25,000 for anyone between 2700 and 2720, 50k for anyone between 2720 and 2750, 100k for everyone else above 2750. I'd prefer to play classical, rapid and blitz, but I'm flexible on format. I will handle logistics, the players risk nothing, my DMs are open. I mean, isn't that an insane offer? You get to play a match against Hans Niemann and don't have to pay anything. And on top of that, you're offered a ridiculous amount of money. Seems like a win-win situation because Hans gets his games and the players get their money, but somehow nobody wants to play.
The main point of the money is to sort of show that if he declines such a ridiculous offer, like $100,000, then it shows that people don't want to give me the chance to actually play, and they just want me to sort of my career to be ruined, right?
Now Hans also starts looking for open tournaments because they literally can't revoke his participations there. And therefore he went to Russia to play an open tournament, which is part of the FIDE circuit. This is what he posted on Twitter, greetings from Moscow, which is actually criticized a lot because why would Hans fly to Russia that is currently in a war with Ukraine?
The Hans Niemann says greetings from Moscow and uploads this photo. Chess world went crazy. Former fans of Hans Niemann were writing things like, I'm not going to support you. I can't support, you going to Russia. I can't support you playing in this tournament. Naturally, with the war in Ukraine.
But the open tournament wasn't his only mission in Moscow. Also, he met Daniil Dubov there, who was willing to play a chess match against him. Of course, money was involved. The whole match was a result from the drama they had in the World Rapid and Blitz Championship, where Daniil apparently fell asleep when he was supposed to play Hans, and then Hans tweeted this: "Happy to play Dubov in a Blitz match under any conditions. I will pay for his travel, accommodation, and offer a 10k reward to a charity of his choice if he wins." Dubov actually said yes and played him under the conditions that the loser would have to answer a question in front of a lie detector. So they both came to an agreement and actually played. The match was pretty exciting and they played 18 games in total, 9 games per day. Daniil Dubov was leading by 3 points, but Hans was able to recover. When it came down to the last game 18, Daniil won, and since then the whole world is patiently waiting for that lie detector question. Let's see if we actually ever get that. It would be really interesting to know if Hans actually cheated back in St. Louis in 2022. That would just settle the drama once and for all. But honestly, how crazy would it be if he truly did not cheat? The whole situation with his career would be more than just messed up and more than just unfair. What do you guys think? Do you think he deserves all of this? Or do you think he's a little too emotional on Twitter? Let us know in the comments. We hope you liked the video, and with that, thank you for watching and see you next week.